gratuitous, it's disgusting. But for the people out there who want full transparency about this and say, I don't even know what the argument would be to see that.
A trusted family friend turned killer. This is the horrifying story of the Prasad family massacre. In 2012, an Indian family in Pennsylvania faced a nightmare nobody could imagine. Their dreams of a peaceful life were shattered when betrayal came from someone they trusted the most.
అమెరికాలోని పెన్సిల్వేనియాలో 2012లో 10 నెలల చిన్నారి శాన్వి ఆమె నానమ్మ సత్యవతిని హత్య చేసిన ప్రవాసాంధ్రుడు రఘునందన్కు.
And here's where it starts getting real. Venkataka Prasad Vyas and his wife, Chenulata Panuru, packed up their lives in India and landed in Pennsylvania with that classic mix of nerves and sky-high hopes. Both of them were software engineers. Yeah, the stereotype checks out. Hustling to carve out a spot for themselves, trying not to look totally lost at the local Desi potlucks. They ended up in this chill little town, the kind where people actually wave from their porches and make small talk that isn't totally fake. Stuff felt simple, you know? They found their crew, swapped stories over homemade biryani, did the Diwali thing with sparklers on the driveway. Slowly but surely, they started feeling like they belonged. And then boom, their biggest adventure yet, Sanvi showed up on January 2nd, 2012. She was tiny with this wild shock of black hair and eyes that basically screamed, "I'm running this house now." The kids' smile melted hearts left and right. Honestly, what could top that? First-time parents, brand new country. It's like getting your American Dream starter pack, deluxe edition. Hang on, things were about to get even cozier. So July 2012 rolls around, and Sanvi's Nani, Satyavati, hops on a plane from India all the way to Pennsylvania. She's pumped, finally gets to squish her first grandkid, help her daughter and son-in-law survive the chaos of newborn life. Grandmas, man, they just know what to do. While she's there, Satyavati pretty much turns the place into a warm bubble of home. She dotes on Sanvi, whips up the kind of food that makes you want to nap immediately after, and jumps right into the birthday fun when Chenulata's big day comes along. The apartment, it's basically brimming with laughter, mouth-watering smells, and that rare golden feeling like everything's exactly as it should be. Now her husband heads back to India, but Satyavati, she sticks around, planning to leave in January 2013. Nobody had the faintest clue that these golden days were ticking down to something unthinkable. Life's got a wild sense of timing, huh? And here's where the nightmare begins. That Monday evening, Venkataka and Chenulata returned home, expecting the usual warmth and laughter of their little family. But something felt off. The apartment was eerily silent. Their worst fear came true when they found Satyavati lying on the kitchen floor. Her throat had been cut, her sari soaked in blood. The woman who had lovingly cared for them and their baby was gone. And then the unthinkable. Baby Sanvi was missing. Panic surged through them. Every corner of the house was checked, every call made, but she was nowhere to be found. What would you have done in that moment? Hold up, it gets creepier. Yeah, I didn't think that was possible either. Sitting right there on the kitchen counter, a ransom note straight out of a bad crime movie, demanding $50,000. And this wasn't your run-of-the-mill, please give us money nonsense. Nah, these people went full psycho. They threatened that if the cops got wind of it, Sanvi would end up, well, let's not even go there. Brutal stuff. But here's the kicker. Cops start poking around and bam, they find more of these twisted notes shoved in random spots all over the apartment. Same threats, same demands. The family, utterly wrecked. Can you blame them? Meanwhile, the police didn't waste a second. They tore through every nook and cranny of that place, already piecing together a plan to nail whoever thought this sick stunt was a good idea. And here's where it gets frustratingly tense. Chenulata just sat there, clutching the damn bag of ransom cash like her whole world depended on it. Because, well, it did. She stared at the doors, the parking lot, even the shadows creeping across the pavement. 8 o'clock, 9, 10, nothing. Not a soul showed. Meanwhile, the cops and a whole army of volunteers were out there turning over every rock, and peeking into every sketchy alley. Neighbors got way too nosy for once, poking into garages, tapping on windows and popping trunks. The Indian community, they went full Bollywood drama, posters everywhere, prayers flying left and right, and a reward that could buy you a pretty nice car. 50 grand. There's this guy, Raghunan Yandri, total legend. He cranked out like 200 posters with his own hands, running around like some vigilante. The family, they just hung on, barely. Hope was the only thing left, and honestly, every minute that ticked by felt like a punch in the gut. I mean, what would you even do? If your kid vanished, would you keep waiting, or would you just lose it? And here's where things start getting suspicious. As police went through the ransom notes again, something caught their eye. These weren't ordinary letters. The notes used the family's nicknames instead of their real names. That small detail blew the case wide open. Whoever wrote this clearly knew the family personally. It wasn't just a random criminal. It had to be someone close, someone who had been trusted. Imagine the shock the parents must have felt realizing the danger came from inside their own circle.
తల్లి 63 ఏళ్ల సత్యవతి అమెరికా వెళ్ళింది. రోజులాగే శివప్రసాద్ చెంచులత 2012 అక్టోబర్ 22వ తేదీన ఉద్యోగాలకు వెళ్లిపోయారు.
But the nightmare was far from over. Soon a gym staff member found a strange blue bag near the check-in counter. When police inspected it, they were horrified. Inside lay little Sanvi, lifeless, along with her tiny clothes and personal items. The post-mortem revealed the unthinkable. She had suffocated inside the tightly closed bag. The parents' world shattered completely. First the grandmother, now their baby. What would you do if someone you trusted could cause this much pain? And here's where the betrayal became undeniable. Police immediately turned to the building's CCTV footage, hoping to catch a clue. That's when they saw it, a man walking out of the building carrying a blue bag, just like the one found at the gym. Pictures from the footage were shown to the grieving parents. They didn't even hesitate. This was someone they knew well. The betrayal was total. The person they had trusted, someone close to their family, had committed this horrific crime. And here's where it gets chilling. This was no stranger. The man behind the nightmare was Raghunan Yandri, a close family friend and IT professional from Andhra Pradesh. On the surface, he was friendly, polite, and someone the Prasad family trusted completely. But behind closed doors, Raghunan had a dark secret. He was deeply addicted to gambling, had accumulated massive debts, and was desperate for money. The friendly neighbor everyone smiled at could also be plotting something horrifying. It's hard to believe, right? That someone you trust could hide such a dangerous side. And here's where it all started spiraling out of control. Raghunan's financial desperation was the driving force behind the crime. He had lost huge sums gambling and didn't know how to pay off his debts. He remembered seeing the family's gold, cash, and the grandmother's jewelry during previous visits. To him, it seemed like an easy solution: kidnap the baby, demand ransom, and grab valuables to solve his money problems. Little did anyone know this plan would turn into a tragedy beyond imagination. But wait, it gets even more horrifying. Raghunan lured Satyavati to the door with a friendly greeting, pretending nothing was wrong. Once inside, he threatened her and tried to take baby Sanvi. A struggle followed. In a moment of panic and rage, he stabbed Satyavati in the neck, killing her instantly. Then he wrapped little Sanvi in cloth, placing her tightly into a bag. When the baby cried, he stuffed more cloth into her mouth to keep her quiet. Tragically, she couldn't breathe and eventually suffocated. A plan meant to get money had ended in the worst nightmare possible. And this is where everything just falls apart. Big time. Raghunan bolted, heart pounding, but then, bam! It hit him. Sanvi wasn't breathing. Instant panic. You could practically see his insides screaming. He'd crossed the line, way past what he ever planned. So what does he do? Total desperation move. He dumps the bag by some random gym, basically hoping the universe forgets he exists. Meanwhile, cops are everywhere, asking questions, knocking on doors, poking around. The Indian community, well, they're on fire, hanging posters, swapping info, doing whatever they can to nail whoever did this. And this is where the mask finally slips, right? Cops get their hands on some CCTV, and boom, Raghunan's face is right there in HD, no hiding. They pick him up fast. At first, he's playing the innocent card like butter wouldn't melt. But the heat is on, and it's just a matter of time before he cracks. And boy, does he crack. He spills it all. Gambling debts, money problems, the whole ugly mess. The ransom plan? It went off the rails, straight into tragedy. Satyavati murdered, Sanvi suffocated. Nobody who knew the guy saw this coming. Talk about nightmare fuel. And suddenly, everyone's world gets turned upside down. People are shook, like blindsided. The Indian community in Pennsylvania, neighbors, friends, nobody can wrap their heads around it. Someone they trusted just snapped. The anger, off the charts. News vans everywhere, headlines screaming, everyone demanding justice. Folks are grieving, pissed off, and just trying to figure out how someone from their own circle could do something so unthinkable. It's betrayal at its worst, and the shockwaves don't stop anytime soon. And this is where justice was served. After a full trial where all the evidence was presented, Raghunan was sentenced to death, the first Indian in the USA to receive this punishment. Even so, execution doesn't happen immediately. Appeals, legal procedures, and decisions by governors can delay it. To this day, Raghunan remains on death row, a grim reminder of the consequences of his actions. And here's the lesson that haunts everyone. Venkataka and Chenulata never imagined that someone so close could commit such crimes. The story shows the darkest side of human betrayal and cruelty. It's a reminder to remain vigilant, value community support, and recognize that justice, even delayed, can prevail. Trust can be exploited, but courage and awareness can help protect those we love. The Prasad family massacre is a chilling reminder that danger can hide close to home. Let's honor their memory by staying vigilant, supporting our communities, and seeking justice. What's your take on this tragic story? Drop a comment, hit like, and subscribe for more true crime stories.